We were just talking then about fascist governments. Do you think there's been a descent into these governments, our governments being fascist against their indigenous people, and for what
I
reason? Why?
believe that they have probably not consciously done it. As I try to not imagine that somebody could consciously do
Yeah,
this much damage to their own country. I think everybody starts with the best of intentions, but politics being what it is, I believe that politics requires strength, not weakness, on every level, from city councilor all the way to prime minister. And if you don't have that strength within you, I don't know how you can apply for that job, because after all, they forget that it is a job. They work
Yeah.
for the people. And if they're not working on behalf of the people, I mean, look, what's happened over the last several years with immigration alone, they've put, in my opinion, our countries in danger, in dire jeopardy. And the fact that that's happening, to me, is tantamount to treasonous. If you're allowing people to come in and take over your country, I mean, what country wouldn't react to that? What people would allow that to take place and just take it lying down? Um, and again, I'm not saying that was the intent, but stop it. Now that you see that it's a problem, now that you see and admit openly that there's millions of people within our borders that don't belong here, that were supposed to be gone either years ago or within the last several months, but they refuse to leave.
Yeah.
Do something about it. Don't just sit on your hands and say, well, we're trying to figure it out, because these people now have the mentality that they have nothing to lose. And they're going back anyways. So, I mean, forget the security risk to it. There's a financial aspect of it, and that nobody ever talks about. And the financial aspect of it is to our companies, our leasing companies, our computer companies, our electronics stores that do leasing, financing, because a lot of these folks will go out, lease vehicles, ship them elsewhere, sell them like they didn't even exist. They'll buy all kinds of items that they never intend on paying for. They'll run up credit card debt. Ultimately, who's paying for it? We are. Our interest rates climb. The cost of everything rises, and what we bought for $100 2 years ago, we're now paying $300 for. And so that's the sign of the times. And it's all, that's just the financial, impact of it, let alone the security risk and the threats to our countries and our populations. And I mean, they're going around arresting World War II heroes out of their wheelchairs because they're holding up a sign. Yet you've got people breaking into homes armed for your vehicles. And, these guys are getting out on bail an hour later and doing it again and again and
Yeah.
again.
Constant reoffenders just released.
So then you've got the conservative government who have been fighting tooth and nail to try to enact stiffer penalties, stiffer laws, jail, not bail. And it's rejected every single time by the liberal governments.
Yeah.
And I mean, I don't understand that mentality. If we came to you and said, put an offender or even a reoffender in jail, hold him until his next hearing, don't give him a bail hearing, how is that illogical? How in someone's mind do they say, no, I'm not going to support that bill? I don't understand it.
Does your immigration policy kind of mirror ours? I mean, the only way people are getting in this country is illegally. They're crossing over in small boats and in back of trucks. And what we've noticed, like you said about the fiscal side of things, we've noticed that, and we've seen it, The immigration actual expenditure prior to all of this starting was roughly about 360 million a year. That's jumped to 7.63 billion in the space of 24 months. And the hotels are very, very difficult to book a hotel nowadays because they're just full of asylum seekers. And for a country as small as the UK, um, again, I was on the coast quite a lot last year, and I went to 5 different locations just out and about. And getting a hotel and actually speaking to the local population, they were up in arms and they'd really had enough. Is it the same scenario with regards to the money, with regards to the hotel expenditures, food vouchers, mobile phones for free? Is this what you're suffering from as well?
I think much worse. I've spoken to some immigration people off the record. And so they've told me that a lot of the people that are entering are refugees that enter with their wife and their wife's 2 sisters. Every single one of them has a wife and 2 sisters. You know what that means. So now you've
All
got
of his wives.
right. So you've got the first couple that are collecting full benefits, which is in and around $5,000. It's the initial check's about 9,000, and then it's approximately 5,000 a month for the first 2 years. And then you've got the second set that gets the same. So do the math, and they're getting approximately 15 to 20,000 a month. Now, explain to me, somebody, what would motivate these people to want to work and get jobs and be productive in society and be taxpayers when they're gaining more money than 90% of the population. So it's a broken system. It's very broken. And I was also told that there was an app, the same way we had the COVID app, where you had to report the ArriveCan, it was called. When you traveled somewhere, you had to report on this ArriveCan app. And so I was told that there's an immigration style app where if you want to come in and claim refugee status, you go on the app and it says, you know, what would you like to claim? And you click refugee. Then it says, where are you coming from? Your country of origin, your mode of transportation, how'd you get here? Have you conducted or been involved in any terrorism in your life? No. Welcome to Canada. Now, it's a slight exaggeration, but that's pretty much what it is.
Yeah.
With no oversight.
Wow.
And then you've got a minister who's trying to take away our legal firearms, and he wants to make sure that we're all disarmed.
Yes.
While they're allowing the wrong element to enter the country, while crime is skyrocketing, they want to disarm citizens who have never broken a law in their lives, who store their weapons and their ammunition properly, securely. I'm an avid gun owner. I probably own more guns than the average gun store. And I store everything correctly, legally. My ammunition is stored separately, locked, legally. And I would never think about breaking those laws ever. And when they ask me to jump, I say, how high? I don't ask anything else because I want to keep my right to have my weapons.
Of course. Yeah.
The problem is they're doing everything they can to make sure that we don't own any weapons in this country. And that, to me, was the final straw. That was the straw that broke the camel's back. And therefore, I decided that on a long-term level, I'll be moving to the US. if they'll have me.
Are there active movements within Canada then that are actually teaching, be it not just the Jewish community, how to look after themselves? I believe you're a Krav Maga instructor, am I right?
We facilitate Krav Maga to anybody that wants to learn. We put all of our guys through the course, no matter what background they come from. We believe in self-defense on a very, very broad basis for everybody. Anybody that can should learn something. And when we have these classes or seminars, we're not trying to teach people to go toe to toe in a octagon.
No.
All we're trying to do is give you self-defense tools to ward off an attack. And then, like I said, use your feet to get out. That's all there is to it. So, and then of course we teach situational awareness, common practices, what to do, what not to do. And just to always be aware of your surroundings. Don't be one of those people that has AirPods or earbuds in your ears and walking down with your head down, scrolling, on a sidewalk somewhere. Always be aware of your surroundings. Always. Doesn't matter where you live.
Let's talk somewhat about your book.
So,
Can you walk?
Yeah, I can walk you through it. Hate 2.0, One Man's Journey to Becoming a Tough Jew. When I thought of that title, I wasn't necessarily thinking about physically tough. Tough means a lot of things.
Sure.
Tough can be mentally tough, spiritually tough, emotionally tough. A person that just refuses to lay down and just give up. That's a tough person. That's a tough Jew to me. And of course, there's the physical aspect of it as well. There's the ability to fight, to defend others. I'm just not one of those people who can watch somebody being attacked and sit there on my phone and film it. I'm not one of those people.
No, me neither.
I'm the guy who, does things quickly and just sorts it out as best as I can and gets that person to safety. And so I basically start out, what made me do what I do, why I do what I do. When I was a kid, I used to see a guy standing at our synagogue all the time. And I asked my father, why is he standing at the door? My father explained to me that he was there for our security. And I said, but we're inside. What do you mean security? I don't understand. And he said, well, there are those people that don't like us or rather hate us because we're Jewish. A concept I did not understand because I grew up in a predominantly black neighborhood. I had friends from every walk of life, never cared about any color, creed, nationality. And so it was a foreign concept to me. But ultimately, when I realized, that we had a serious problem in our community, I decided I wanted to be that guy that protected the community and spent my life training and becoming that person. And of course, it's been a bumpy road. I'm not going to say it hasn't. I've got some cuts and bruises, and but it's par for the course. If you're not prepared to put your life, then you have no business being in this line of work. And I tell guys that all the time. You've got to be prepared to go all the way. And if you're not, just do something else, because I don't want anything bad to happen to you or anybody else. I get into my family dynamic. I grew up youngest of 10 kids. And basically what that was like, we have a very tight-knit family to this day. We're spread across the globe. Yeah.
Amazing.
Well, listen, Moroccan Jewish parents, right?
Yeah.
Back in the day, they didn't have TV. Every time my dad came home from the war, they had another kid. And I mean, we just we just did what we had to do. But we're a tight knit family. Everybody's getting up there in age, of course, but we're blessed, and we were blessed to have two amazing parents. And basically, it dives into everything that made me who I am today. And Hate 2.5, one tough Jew's journey continues. Hopefully will be finalized 2026 and edited, and then out there as well by the end of 2026, I'm hoping.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I really don't know when you sleep. Like I said that to you before. Like I don't know when you actually rest at all, but we're very grateful.
I've had a half an hour nap while we were doing this. It's honestly, I get my sleep in. It's at odd hours. It's whenever I can, and I'll get in a handful of hours. And if I need a nap later on, if I need it, I'll take it. And on airplanes, I'm lucky enough to be one of those people that can pass out in an airplane seat.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah.
and
right. I travel with so many people who can't.
Yeah,
and they're like, dude, how the hell do you do it? and as soon as that plane lifts off, I'm out. I'm gone.
Wow. Nice.
And so I'll tell you, it helps. So if you want to do good in this world, be prepared to take some hits. You're not going to be received 100% good all the time. You're going to develop a lot of haters. You're going to develop a lot of people who think they can do it better than you are doing it, or differently. I get messages nonstop. Why do I do what I do? Why am I supporting the Iranian community? Which is absurd, because King Cyrus saved our lives and rescued us, and we're basically returning the favor. Our king is, doing what their king did for us. And so, the Iranians and Jews have a long, rich history together, and we are family. We're the same people in my books. And, when people just throw all kinds of stuff at you because they can, right? Somebody sees you in a video or in a podcast or whatever, and they feel like they know you. They feel like they know what makes you tick. And then they try to throw dirt at you, or, whatever. I've just become thick-skinned. Nothing really sticks to me. And I do what I do day in, day out. And I'll never apologize for it. I'm national director of Herut Canada, which is unapologetically Jewish organization. We've never, ever made apologies for being Zionists. Yeah. And an amazing organization around the world. Like I said, we have a branch in the UK. And, I'm fortunate that I work with amazing people, both in the security world and in the activism world. And I'm constantly aware and grateful always to do what I do, and to have the strength that I have, and to be able to lead, my amazing teams who, without, I'm nothing. I'm honestly nothing. If I don't have these guys beside me day in and day out, I don't know where I am. I have the best teams anybody could ask for. They are literally the best of the best. And for that, I am extremely grateful and extremely blessed. And everybody that, takes us on understands that, this is a formidable team to work with or be against.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for your time. It's been an absolute pleasure talking to you.
Perfect. Yeah.
Likewise, guys. Thank you for having me.
Thank you
You're
for
welcome.
doing this. Yeah. Thank you.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye bye.
Ta-bye.